I had the Blue Sky Project, and essentially what the Blue Sky Project was it was a cloud. And they did this so they could move all of the Institute's database into a private cloud. And they needed to save money, so they didn't have to lay off as many people. So this private cloud could help them do that, and it would also be easier to retrieve data. And there were a few important people in this case. So one of them was Garth Hudson, who was a 29-year-old grad of ESU, and he had a degree in management information systems. He went back to work for ESU. He used to work in Kentucky, and then he went back to work at ESU, at his alma mater, as an information systems manager. A few facts about Hudson was that he wasn't a very outgoing person. He liked to eat lunch by himself because he had food allergies, and he didn't go to the restaurants with everybody else. When they went out to eat for lunch. He also stopped going to the weekly meetings that his work would have, because he said he was just busy doing other things, basically. And then there was Amit Green, who was Hudson's boss, and who he had previously worked for him part-time. And then there was Tom Jackson, who's another important person. He started out as an assistant, and then he helped Hudson with the Blue Sky Project. He helped train the employees mainly. He was really the one that was there for them, and if they needed help, they would go to him. He spent a lot of one-on-one FaceTime with them. And he was kind of just the opposite of Hudson. He was really outgoing. He was there really for the employees when Hudson wasn't. Hudson was really behind the scenes, as he says. But anyways, at the end of the case, Amit Green goes into Hudson's office, and he says, basically it's known around here that Jackson is important to the operation, and I need to make a decision. So before I make that decision, I want you to change my mind. So one of the questions that was asked was, if you were Hudson, how would you respond to the director? I said that first off, I would apologize for not working as closely to the employees as I should have, and then remind him that while I was not there with them as much as I needed to be, is because I was working so hard behind the scenes just trying to get everything up and running and make sure that it's correct. And also remind him that there's a reason that he hired me and why they picked me to pick the server, which was already saving the company money. And while that server did have a little bit of problems starting out, they're working to fix it. And lastly, I would say that if he kept me instead of Jackson, he knows that I would work tirelessly because he knows me, and he knows what kind of person I am. And the second question was, what mistakes did Hudson make? And the main mistake that I put was basically not showing enough face-to-face with his employees and just kind of sticking to himself and working behind the scenes. Nobody really knew where he was at. Nobody could ask him questions. And the third was, what are the lessons to be taken from this case? And I said a big one was that I took away was that while working hard is very important, putting in that face-to-face with employees is just as important, if not more important. So employees can ask you questions. And lastly, that communication is key and that it must be constant.